The redesign of the 10 rings in Shang-Chi brings more kung fu elements to the film and sets them apart from past weapons in the MCU. Warning: the following contains mild spoilers for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, now playing only in theaters. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the latest installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, is already getting rave reviews from critics and fans alike according to Rotten Tomatoes, crediting its elaborate action sequences and comedic timing for its success. And as a Phase 4 film, it's opening doors for the future of the MCU, which is set to involve the magical 10 rings. But the rings that appear in Shang-Chi are not what they look like in the comics, a purposeful decision on the production team's part to avoid them resembling the Infinity Gauntlet and looking goofy. The redesigned rings were designed to be magical versions of Hung Gar iron rings, which also help reinforce the martial arts and kung fu elements in the film. The classic 10 rings are like infinity stones in the pages of Marvel Comics. The 10 rings are worn like traditional rings on the fingers, with one on each finger. In a way similar to the Infinity Stones, each ring had its own kind of name and a special power associated with it. When wielded all together, it gives the user immense power. Both the 10 rings and the Infinity Stones come from space as well, implying their cosmic and earth-shattering powers. The parallels to Thanos and his Infinity Gauntlet are undeniable, but instead of residing on one hand, they are on two. The Mandarin used the 10 rings to build up his shadow organization and amass immense power, much like Thanos did with his Infinity Stones, just on a more cosmic scale. Upon finding the 10 rings, which were alien technology used to power starcraft from a race of dragon-like species called the Makluan, the Mandarin began to wear them and understand their powers. The 10 rings' abilities range from the ability to slow down time around a victim to creating false illusions and a beam of nothingness from outer space. Similar to how the 10 rings speak to Xu Wenwu, Shang-Chi's father in the film, and pull him to Ta Lo to release the Dweller in Darkness, the 10 rings of the comics have spirits in them that speak to the Mandarin and influence his mind. Hung Gar and Shang-Chi's 10 rings. The 10 rings depicted in Shang-Chi are different in many ways from their comic counterpart, and not just due to their powers. The rings are not worn on the fingers but on the forearms like iron rings used to train and perfect form in Hung Gar, which is a type of kung fu that originates in southern China. In Hung Gar, the iron training rings are used to harden and strengthen muscle, skin and bones, while performing forms and develop the harder fighting style associated with the martial art.